Guys, it is almost time for UFC 321. Tom Aspinall, now the UFC Undisputed King, puts the title on the line against elusive striker Ciryl Gane in the main event. It's raw strength versus refined technique, and my friends at DraftKings are going to get you in on all the action. New customers turn $5 into $300 if your bet wins, paid instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the code SONNEN, stay in on the action. Use your bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Love the thrill of live betting? Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers, use my promo code SONNEN. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly if your bet wins. That's promo code SONNEN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Hot mic moment. Oh, did you guys see this? I wish this one had happened. So there was two shows going on. There was two different filmings going on. Daniel had welcomed Tom in for an interview of some degree. Daniel sits down with Tom. So now you got that show going on, which is an ESPN show. But then Tom has his own camera crew that's doing like a behind the scenes. So they're filming the filming. They're making a show about the show. Are you following me with this? So when they get done, Daniel lowers his voice. He's just going to talk with Tom. It's just him and Tom talking. So he lowers his voice. But Daniel wasn't aware that Tom is still mic'd up with his camera crew. So while Daniel thought one show had ended, and he's right, and he lowered his voice so that show didn't pick it up, he did everything right. He failed to understand there's another show. There's a show about the show. At any rate, this all gets picked up on a hot mic. And so Daniel's having this conversation with Tom, and he's saying, Daniel's message was really great. But, he lowered his voice for a reason. He didn't want all of us out there. And so Daniel's building Tom up, and he's telling him, you're in a really unique spot. You are the best guy in the division, but once you get through Ciryl, right, if Jones ain't coming back, or even if he is, he's got his hands full with Pierre, like these pieces are off the board, you're in this really great spot where you can go out and you can defend a title. You can be the man. You can be and not be in any danger. He said they're looking at Volkov and Almeida to fight you next. And Daniel says Almeida can't fight. And Volkov, he's talking to Tom, you already dusted Volkov in one round. Which is true. Tom armbarred him, for any of you that may not have known that. And so this whole thing gets picked up on a mic. And then Daniel was telling his own story about when he fought Oldemir. And he was saying, he did not deserve a title fight. I knew I was ahead of him. I knew I could beat him, but now I'm getting points. I'm getting main event. I'm going to get to do this media tour. I'm going to have some fun. And that's what Daniel was explaining to Tom. Like, you're in this really unique spot where you can actually have some fun. You can go out there and be king of the world without this tremendous threat of this next guy or this young guy or this unknown guy is going to bring you down. And Daniel was telling him, he told him all of this to tell. And now here's where Daniel gets to the message. Make sure you're working hard. And that was Daniel's nice way of telling him, these guys aren't going to catch you, Tom, but you can come down to them. And we see guys do that all the time. They take their eye off the ball, and it's not a matter of the field comes up. It's a matter of they regress. They don't work hard. They get out there. They get tired partway through the fight. Now it doesn't matter who's better. One guy's tired and one guy's not. It doesn't matter who's better. And this was what Daniel was telling me. He was telling him it very quickly, but this was the message. It was a big brother conversation. All right. Well, let's stay on that for just a second. I don't know that I agree that Almeida Volkov winner is drawing into Tom. I agree that they could. I agree that would be a piece of it, but then Tom does an interview. Now, this is subsequent of talking with Daniel. Tom does an interview and says, well, it's very obvious what's next. They're building Almeida and Volkov and making them a #1 contenders match. It doesn't matter if I win or if Ciryl wins. The winner of that fight will be Ciryl's opponent if he beats me. Winner of that fight will be my opponent if I beat Ciryl. But one thing that Tom said is, it's very obvious. Well, I didn't know it. I wouldn't have guessed it. I don't guess it now. If Tom wins, aren't we going to try to put a hole in the boat of Jon Jones versus Tom? I thought that's what we were doing. Jon has not responded to Pereira. Now we give Jon full grace right now. He's in mourning, right? He's dealing with the law. We give him full grace for not responding. But is that why Jon didn't respond? Did Jon not respond because he's just not thinking about fighting right now? Or did he not respond because he's not all that interested in Pereira? He'd wrapped his head around Tom. That is very likely. Very, very possible, at least. So I thought that they would still look to go in that direction. I thought that Pereira could come in and swoop the whole thing. If Pereira doesn't get the Jones fight, what happens next? That's the one question that nobody's really asked themselves. If Pereira does not get the fight with Jon Jones, does Pereira stay at 205 pounds? Does he go and fight Olberg? Is it all cool in the gang? Or is Pereira letting us know, I'm a heavyweight? So if I don't get the fight with Jones, let's talk about Tom. If you don't like me against Tom, and Dana's kind of said, hey, there's too big of a size difference. I don't like you against Tom. Okay, well, let me meet you in the middle and just show you I can do that. Let me, Alex Pereira, fight the winner of Almeida, Volkov. That would be very intriguing, and that would solve a lot of problems, and that would set up heavyweight very nicely, and that would tell the story and drive the narrative. Would Pereira be interested in a non-title fight against Volkov or Almeida? Would he be interested in that? When he could just make weight at his own class, fight for the belt. A lot of questions there. A lot of questions. And Tom's saying that he thinks it's very obvious for what's next. I don't know. I don't know if I see it that way. I'm fairly confident in telling you that if Ciryl gets the jump on Tom, they're going to rematch Ciryl and Tom. But of course, it would depend how that fight looked. That's why you can never play this game. This is why you can never plan ahead. But the idea of a Tom Volkov rematch does surprise me a little bit. And what do you do with Jones? Nobody seems to know that answer. I mean, Jones is back. They've announced that he's back. He's in the testing pool. He was retired or whatever that was for 8 days. He's now back. Well, why isn't he ranked? Our rankings committee, because Jon Jones stepped aside for 8 days, did not rank him? I find that very hard to believe. Did they get together and talk and decided they're not going to rank Jon Jones because he stepped aside for 8 days? I find that very hard to believe. I have my own guess. I have no proof. But I don't think Jon Jones's name became eligible for them to rank, or they would have ranked him. Well, if his name didn't become eligible while he's in the pool, who was it that had the power or authority to remove Jones's name from contention? Therein lies is the great conspiracy of our sport as it sits right now. The biggest conspiracy in our entire sport, which absolutely nobody is talking about, is how is Jon Jones not ranked? With what justification? And even if you had an outlier or two, that's not how the rankings committee works. There's a whole bunch of them. And they all had the same group thought. I don't think so. I don't think Jones's name was eligible to be ranked. I don't think the committee has anything to do with it or has even thought about it. But if Jones is in the pool, who had the authority and who took the time to remove his name from ranking consideration? And most importantly, why?